My name is Darius J, Wright, and for the purpose of people trying to understand that which I do is I have controlled out-of-body states. And essentially what this is where you are able to shut down your body to a certain state where your soul leaves. And when your soul leaves, it's the same thing as a near-death experience. And so I've been doing that for many years now. Decades pretty much of controlled states. And when I realized that the other side, the eternal aspect of us, is our home, is there, it's not here, even though a lot of people would like to say this place is our home. It's not. None of us are from here. And when understanding that, through accessing that and seeing that again, then this has turned into my life's mission and purpose to wake people up to that. Because once they wake up to who they are on all aspects of their true home, their true state, they wake up to everything. Because as soon as they remember that state again, then it's impossible not to realize and know again that you're not from here. This is what you experience now is not your true home. That's what people are longing for. They're longing for home. They're seeking home, and they seek it here, but they're never going to really find it here because it doesn't exist here. Your home is where you were before you were born. And that's what you return to. And that's pretty much my mission, is telling people that the other side is your home. And it's the pure state of love. So the moment you leave your body and you look at your physical body on the bed, you instantly realize that the body is not you, that your soul, what you're in, is you. And what people fear when they do this, or they fear the afterlife of what happens, my personality ceases to exist, or do I have physicality? But your soul is as physical and more physical than the physical body that we have right now. The reality is more real than what we experience now. So when you're in your soul, you're not only delighting in the pleasures of physicality, but it's all the pleasures of physicality with no limitations. And this is where the complete freedom comes into play, because you're completely free again, like a child. Newborn child's free to express and be who they want. And once you leave, you're free to do that as well. The interaction with touch is much different than touch the way we feel it here, because you're feeling every aspect of that individual soul if you're communicating with another soul. You could feel their emotion. There's no walls, everybody's naked. And so the moment you leave, outside of this body is what everybody's seeking. That's all the pleasures, all the love, all the freedom. Everything that people suffer here in this reality. The moment you leave, that stops. Once you access your true home again, your personality stays exactly the same. You're the same person. But instead, what happens is that you remember yourself, why I came here, who you were before you were born here. Those memories start to come back to you. Imagine for a moment that you as a soul is an all-powerful being. Every single soul is God. You have the ability to manifest and create based off your will. And when you're on the other side, in the great infinite beyond, as a soul, you're like, okay, I want to experience this creation. So you as a soul, due to your will, you could create those things, manifest those places for your soul to delight in it and its pleasures. But this creation here, based off what I've been told through many, many times and seen, was the first of its kind to experience what it's like not to be the all. What it's like to have a temporary experience of what it's like not to be in total love. Because when you look at it that way, regardless of how you want to view it, when you look at it that way, you could say, in order to truly understand yourself, who we are, love, you would have to know what the opposite of that is. You would have to know what it's like not to be in love, to truly understand love at its purest state, its fullness. You would have to experience something like that. So this was the place designed for that, based off what I was shown. And so the purpose of here, even though there's all suffering, and I'm not a blind or ignorant to that, but the moment that you can, to the best of your ability, stay in love, the pure state of love here, through all the chaos, then you pierce through a lot of the things, all of the distortions. Because a lot of people have a lot of suffering because they're disconnected from their true state, their heart. And so they have a lot of suffering because they think that this is all there is. My life, the material things, this is all there is. Oh my God, if I lose that, something terrible is going to happen. But when you make that full connection to the other side in love at its purest state, then it doesn't matter what happens to the physical things that you have, even your physical body, because you're not even your physical body. But these physical bodies, the prisons for the soul, gives you the temporary illusion of loss of something. And this is why I said, if you identify with this, and this reality is this, your physical body, then you will forever experience pain and suffering. If you are attached to this, you will forever experience the suffering of, because you will lose this. But you will never lose the soul. It's impossible. You'll never lose the connection back to your home. Impossible. Once you realize that, all self-emotional suffering disappears. How could it exist? A lot of people have identified God as a singular being, and you'll find inside of a lot of religions, they're based off of what? Fear. Fear of do this or else. Fear of if you do not do this, then you will be judged and punished. But yet at the same time, they say that God is unconditional loving, but you cannot have unconditional love with a judgment. So God has been perverse and religion has been perverse in a way of controlling you, each and every soul here. Because if every person here remembered what the other side truly was, then they would realize if God was a singular being, that he is all loving. The source of it all is all loving. The only thing that it's going to do, no matter what you do here, is love you all the same. It's going to love you all the same. So God is each and every one of us, because each and every one of us is fashioned in purity at the highest state. Our souls are fashioned in purity. And we all have the ability to manifest and create what we want on the other side. We have control over our experience, even in the most basic aspects here. We are creator beings on the physical sense, and we are creator beings on the soul sense. And when people start self-identifying God as one person and putting themselves beneath something, then they have already forgotten who they are at the most foundational level as a soul. That you are no different from me, I'm no different from you, and we are all the same in that way. If people see God, then God's within you. The universe is within you. The temple of heaven's within you. So what people are mistaking when it comes to God is that they are mistaking that with an almighty controlling force of things, not realizing that every single soul in all creation is of that creation force and holds the same capacity and ability as every other soul as well. So to understand why people experience like a hellish experience when they cross over is because our thought forms, we think what we think right now is somehow not there. It disappears. But your very thought forms of what you think your greatest fears, even though you're not thinking of them now, they're in your subconscious, they're in your field. And so once you leave, you will be presented with yourself, your fears, your thought forms. And this is why no one ever truly escapes themselves. This is why also the greatest pain that you'll experience on the other side is facing yourself and the actions you've done outside of love. So a lot of people that are experiencing this hell is because they have a fear-based narrative running deep within their subconscious through programming. That when they leave, they see it, they experience it, and then what happens the moment that they say, I've had enough, they give up, they stop fighting, they stop fearing because they give up. All of a sudden the doors open up. They break right past it. They go right past it. And the same thing happened to me. For years, with the out-of-body state leaving my body, I was in fear. I was seeing this being attacking me, this certain scenario playing out. And I'm like, oh my God, things are just trying to kill me. And I'm still afraid of death and something controlling me or harming me. And I got to the point where I just said this. I said, kill me. Take my soul. Don't care. I don't care anymore. And then I realized the moment that I stepped into that state, all of them disappeared, like thought forms just vanishing like smoke. And then that's when my Uncle Bob appeared to me, and we made first contact. I've seen passed away relatives come to me because my thought form of fear was so strong. I put myself in my own self-imposed prison. And that's what's going on with people here. They're putting themselves in their self-imposed prisons, not realizing that if they just believed for one moment that they are the greatest authority, just like every other soul and all creation is the greatest authority, that not one thing could ever touch them, then nothing ever will. Or nor will they ever experience that. They'll break right past it. And watch this, Dorothy. Watch this take place. People that watch this that has never had a near-death experience, and I promise every single person this, if you believe 100% that nothing could touch or entrap your soul unless you believe it to be so, then nothing ever will. And every single person that has heard that and truly believes what I said, then they will have a near-death experience, and I guarantee you there will not be one thing that ever touches them. Because they are self-manifesting those things, not realizing how powerful they are. And this has actually already happened with somebody that I was showing this to, teaching this to. He had a lot of fear of this or that and that. And I said, listen, do not fear anything. Nothing will ever touch you. And then he came in contact with out of his body beings crossing over to the other side. And he said, you have no authority over me. And they just moved. Because that's the power that we all have. We are so conditioned here in this life to give our power away, be subservient, obey rules. And we take these things once we leave temporarily, not realizing that nothing has dominion over us. The only thing that has dominion over the soul is fear itself. That's the only thing. When people say, don't go to the light, you're going to get trapped. All these things are based on fear. And you could, to be honest with you, you could go towards the darkest places in all creation, no matter what it is. Think about the most fearful thing. When you understand that your soul cannot be touched or imprisoned unless you believe it to be so, then not one thing will ever touch you. Not one thing. Impossible to touch you. And so a lot of people have a lot of fear. They have a lot of fear because even in the crossing over, they're still fearing death because they still don't understand that their soul never dies. They're still in the mindset of, well, I was born and the body died, so therefore is there beginning and end to me? There's no beginning and end to you. This is all manifestations of man's mindset and their constructs, fear-based things, the opposite of love, not the truth and the divinity of you. And to go back into the reincarnation stuff, when you say a lot of people have been here, a lot of people have been here many times. And they're actually remembering too the versions of this place that was once here in the past. You know, the stories of the flood, the Tartaria. These are versions of history that we all participated in. And even part of the 12 heavens that we participated in. A lot of people remember cathedral heavens because they were once there. That's the fifth realm, the fifth heaven. All within here, all within this creation. But every soul has a choice too. Every single soul has a choice, whether if they want to stay or go. And when you stated as well, or if you asked me, but some people feel like they're being forced here. And back at 16 years old, I was given a choice to come back or stay there. And the only thing I could put it to is this. My soul desired out of love. It was something that I can't articulate fully here, but my soul desired out of love to return because I realized that what I was being shown then at that age, at 16, that's where I'm returning to. And everything in my life, all the struggle, pain, everything just disappeared. It didn't even matter. And my soul made the decision to come back. And then the being told me, well, if you're going to go back, you're going to forget what I told you. But in my mind, I would be saying, no, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back. And I remembered that part where I made the decision to come. And I think a lot of people in these NDEs are actually forgetting the part where their soul agreed to come back. Their soul agreed to come back because to say otherwise is coming from a great misconception that each individual soul is the overpowering authority of their experience. And then by saying otherwise, you're putting yourself into an imprisonment situation, a slave situation. These are all things of what cannot be done to you on the other side unless you believe it to be so. So people are forgetting the choice. And typically the choice comes from, if you haven't noticed, people haven't noticed, what's the overriding choice to come back? Something to do with love of something. Love of somebody else, love for themselves, completing a mission out of love. Many people are forgetting, just as I have, but the decision is always of themselves. The reason why fear it could be a positive is because it teaches someone eventually, no matter how long it takes, unnecessary suffering. But what it will always lead to is freedom. The soul, at some point, it will lead to, well, this doesn't feel right. Because fear is not your inherent, it's not what you feel, your soul feels, even on the other side. So it will lead them to the truth, eventually, of non-fearing. And the reason as well why a lot of people are fearing is because they're fearing death. So you watch the news. What's the overriding thing around there? Fear of death. And it could be banks are collapsing. Banks going to collapse. The financial system, this is going to fall, and things all going to survival and death. Death is the core fear. And if it's not fear, it's attachment of. Attachment of loss, what you could say even attachment and loss is the same energy as death. So at the core, even loss and attachment is the same energy. People are all fearing death. And once they realize that it is not true, death is not true, that you as a soul lives on forever, and your true home is there, not here, then all fear just goes away. I mean, honestly, what is there to fear when you come to the realization that not even death itself could control you? When you come to the realization of that and know your eternal aspect, when you come to the realization that physically here, there's nothing that I could ever really lose, because nothing that is given to me here, I'm taking with me. And nobody is. No one takes anything with them from here. So all of these attachments, this, that, and fear of this, all stems from the lack of understanding who they actually are and where they come from. Because the moment they realize that, it's all gone. It cannot exist once you realize you're home. It doesn't exist. So my thing would be to people that fear of things, go to the deepest parts of that fear, no matter what it is. Pick it in your mind, the greatest fear that you have. Now go towards the end of it. What happens? They're gonna think of something else fearful. Go past that. Go to the worst thing that could possibly happen. What happens then? And then go further and further, and go to the worst possible outcome of your fear. And you'll realize, even when you go deep, deep down into the darkest pits of fear, one thing will remain. One spark of light will remain, and that is love. And it'll pierce right through and bring you right back home. Every single person goes through that at some point. It's impossible not to. The ultimate purpose of every single soul, doesn't matter what path or mission they're on, is love. That's the ultimate purpose. Unfiltered, uncontrolled, unconditional love. You as a soul, bringing that fully into the physical body and expressing that, that's the purpose. Every action that you do to be done in love, that's the purpose. Because people right now aren't even doing things in love. They think they are, but they're doing things based on a conditional approval of what people think love is. So they think, I need to live my life in fulfillment. I need to act and be and do this in a certain way because this is what love would do. But love, at any point, if you stop being your pure, authentic self, then you actually stop being love. When you stop being your pure, authentic self, you actually no longer love yourself. You are doing the opposite of love. And what you're doing is you're condemning yourself. You're judging yourself. So the purpose for every soul is to be themselves in an unconditional fashion. Unconditionally loving themselves for who they are, expressing that fully, walking into every part of their life to their best of their ability and expressing that. If you are not being your authentic self, you are not loving yourself, and you can never even share that love with anybody else. You're pretending to be something that is not love. And this is where you go into every single soul. Their expression of themselves is what I was shown as well. Their expression of themselves is also unique, all slightly different, that each one of them holds this slightly different flame, that without that soul, the very creation of all things in the universe will not be in balance or the same. And so people are trying to mimic, to be other things other than themselves. So people need to be themselves fully and completely, and that's the purpose. That's the whole point. The quickest, most direct path to find your true authentic self is I want you to imagine that if you were to go back into all-knowing truth of searching for that, and when you found it, all that reflected back to you is that nothing matters. Nothing that you do matters. Nothing that you say matters. No actions, good or evil, matter. Nothing, just nothing matters, that which you do. What would you do then? In that state where you realize that nothing matters, what would be your first thought of what you would want to do? And you at that point, you would have found your authentic self. That's how you find it. And if you are unhappy with that, then this is where you heard me say before. If you are unhappy with that state of your actions, of what you would want to do, and if it's not born from a place of love, then that's going into fear, pain, suffering, etc. But that's how you find it. It's the most easiest thing to do. And anytime when someone's trying to search for their authentic self, just go back to that. What if nothing mattered? What would I do? What would I say? How would I act? And do that in love. And you will be operating at the highest state of consciousness and frequency as the very spark of creation. And so I do that all the time. Even through this, even through the stuff that I'm sharing with you, even through the stuff that I'm saying, a lot of people may say, "Oh, you don't look like you're in love," but that's a condition on what love should be expressing as. You see, what I'm sharing is from the rawness of the truth of what it is. But the only thing that does is that you feel whole. You just feel whole. There's no empty void. You just feel whole. You feel at peace. It's not like a bliss, but it's just wholeness. You feel fulfilled. Do I have times where I feel regret of or confusion of? Yeah. And I go right back to what I know to be true. And it just dissolves. The other thing that I do is I realize without a doubt that the greatest pain that I'll experience on the other side is the love that I withhold here for myself and others. And that's not coming from a fearful place. I'm not saying that in a fearful way. But what I'm saying is pain, the greatest pain that I've experienced was on the other side. And that was me having a life review of things that I've withheld love. And you'll find when people have life reviews and all near-death experiences, the overriding theme, they're showing where they've showed love and where they did not show love. It's only those two. Where could I have done better? So I live in this state quite frequently, the majority of the time. And anytime I shift or veer, I'm always pulled right back into that state because it's so painful not to be there. The thing is when you are shown love on the other side for what it truly is, many people may go, well, how do I express that here? How could I possibly do that? Because what they're experiencing is simply love without judgment, confinement, or conditions. They're experiencing complete acceptance for who they are. It's like me. So imagine this. Imagine me as someone right now, you listening to this, you've died on the other side, and you come in contact with a being and they say these words to you. No matter what you've done, past, present, or future, or what you will ever do, good or evil, I will always love you unconditionally, no matter what you do. And that's what people feel. The true state of love is that no matter what you do, you will always be loved. No matter what you become, you will always be loved. For what is love if that highest state of love would then sit there and condemn you and bring you further down? Not at all. So you could actually be that state of love physically here. If you stepped into that place and said to everybody, no matter what you do, past, present, or future, no matter what you become, I will always love you, no matter what. And then you realize something when you start saying that to people, that person that you're speaking to is a child of somebody. And the parents would say the same thing. And then you realize, well, isn't every single soul here the children of somebody? So even people here that people cannot understand, how could they be loved? How could someone that has done the most evil things here, how could they be loved? And then I ask you this, if you are a mother or a father, will you stop loving your child when they do something bad? When they do something evil? Would you stop loving them? No, you won't. So, how could you say that the spark of all creation and unconditional love should stop loving them as well? Unconditional love of all things, the very source of everything. Why would you expect them not to be loved? If you are a parent, no matter what your kids do, you will always love them. And we are all kids from there. View that in that way. Doesn't matter what people do here, because that same child of someone that's doing something evil here, not even a kid, but someone that's doing something very, very evil here is like a child. Similar to a child throwing a fit, in pain, crying. But the core of their energy, what they're really saying is, help me. Help me, I'm in pain. That's what they're saying. Because doing something evil is the opposite of love. And to do that, you are already in the state of absolute pain, to even have that self-manifest in you to begin with. When a child does self-harm to themselves, they're in pain. Help me, help me. They're searching for love, and they can't find it. So they turn into this evil thing. So what would you be as someone that knows love? Who would you be to sit there and see that and not reach out your hand to help them? Who would you be? You would be no different from the very evil that you are judging. You'd be no different. Artificial intelligence, the technology of what they have there, is actually comes from what people call the galactic races. So a lot of the entities that have been here for a very, very long time within governmental systems, classified information, whistleblowers coming out. The thing is, what people call the galactics, which is actually part of the second realm or the second heaven, right above, they've been here for a very, very long time. Some of them look human, identical to you, but people don't realize it. And a lot of this technology is coming from them. And this is very, very easily proven back with even a lot of information that has been leaked and shown to people. But there's a very, very fine line with this too, because once somebody starts relying on artificial intelligence, technology, then they inherently shut down the abilities within them. So right now, Project Looking Glass was a piece of technology from government agencies to bend time to see future events, or bend the light spectrum to see potential futures. But when you come out of the body, I've seen potential futures that played out verbatim. People in near-death experiences have seen future events to occur that have also played out verbatim. So all forms of technology is also modeled off the very thing that we have within our physical bodies. For instance, the halls of Amenti, the information that people are searching for within there, the pyramids, the great pyramids, the tunnel systems. The moment you go down there, you'll see people are trying to look for books and scrolls, but actually the information is encoded within the very rocks and crystals themselves, with all the information there, through acoustics, lasers, etc. But our physical bodies is an acoustic machine. Our physical bodies is an electromagnetic generator. So even though AI has access to information of this, it doesn't even come close to the information that you have access to with the all-knowing of everything within you. Not even close. It overpowers you once you only identify as, this is all I am, the physical body. This is it. Then absolutely, it will be faster than you, more intelligent than you. But is AI going to break down the truth of who we are? No. That comes from the soul. It comes from a soul bringing that forward, the truth of that. So all technology at the core of it is a reflection of what we inherently can do. And for some people, that's even hard to it's hard for them to sense. But even right now, we are even we have abilities right now that we are so unaware of, that if they were just focused on, you could say miracles coming to earth within the physical body. Right now, you've had people that have had cancer and cured that cancer like that, like within a day, just through their will and their belief. Because your will, your words, your belief, who you are, your soul is the overriding creation of all things, even AI itself. AI did not create you. You are the creator of it. A soul was the creator of it. Because that's one dormant ability that we all have, to see who we are, who we really are. Separating the soul, you could say, is the spiritual highway to truth for an individual. Because a lot of people want to go back into the past life, so they have to go to somebody else to do that. The outer body, you could access that information for yourself. It is the tool that I've accessed all information for myself, to the stuff that I'm sharing with people here. Then what you could also do is you could start bringing stuff physically here with the highest state of love too. For instance, people will see, just recently I posted a child. He's able to see without his physical eyes. That's another dormant ability that we have access to, that we could all do. And it's breaking down the physical limitations that we think, because a lot of people think, well, how could I see with my eyes closed? Because they're only operating from the physical body, not realizing, well, when you leave your body, how could your soul see? So why can't you open up your soul eyes while you're in the physical body now and see? You can. It's already being done. So there's other abilities that we have too, like for instance, telepathy. A lot of people think that telepathy is like a form of mind reading, but it's actually pretty simple. Right now, you have an electromagnetic field, the field all around you, scientifically proven, generated from your heart. When you're out of your body, I could see my own thought forms, my field, my beliefs, what I feel, and I could also see others. So physically, how do you tune into that? How do you tap into that? By getting accustomed to the signature of another soul. And then you can start to pick up on things. Intuition. It's a very, very small thing, but you could build up on that and expand that. So there's a lot of things that the physical body's capable of that we are so suppressed and so told, oh, that's only for a select few of people, when it's for every single one of us. Every single one of us has the ability to do so much more than even the things that I've even said already right now. Right now, did you know scientifically you're actually levitating? Scientifically, right now, just your feet touching the ground is a levitation, because The magnetic field within your physical body and the electromagnetic field within the ground that you touch, you actually are not even touching the surface of the ground. There's a slight repulsion effect taking place where two things are repelling one another. And so when you even touch, for instance, when I'm holding this glass, or if I touch this, I'm not actually even touching that really. You may feel like you are, but you're not, scientifically proven. So how do you then increase that effect of the natural levitation that we're doing already? Well, it would be, in essence, increasing the electromagnetic field of the physical body, and therefore levitation is born. Something that you're already doing now, but how do you increase that to a state where it's actually that repulsion effect, it becomes more visible? Right now, due to my experience too with the outer body, right now I could think of something. I'm thinking of an apple in my hand, or I'm thinking of a book in my hand. Right now, just with that very thought that I have of a book in my hand, if I were to come out of my body, I would see the book in my hand, just in a different light spectrum from what the physical eyes can't decode currently. But if you were to open up the pineal gland to see more of the light spectrum, you would see my thought form manifestation in my hand, just through the frequency or not through the frequency, through the different light spectrum. That's it. So there are things that I know that can be done in terms of what I just scientifically said. But these are things that can be developed. And for me to say otherwise, that you can't develop those, would be me basically denying the very science that I just spoke about, that you're already levitating right now anyways. So all of these abilities and these gifts are inherently within you. The ability to heal yourself is already within you. People have done it, and it's all done through love. What this leads to is this. Every single soul here, every single soul will come to a point of complete freedom. Every single soul. Right now, humanity is in the state where they are going down what I've said in the beginning of this chat. Go into fear, go into the deepest, darkest pits of fear. Where does that go? And that's where we're going. That's where we are right now. War this, World War III, nuclear, all these things to become so fearful of. But what this is boiling down to is the more people dive down in this fear narrative of destruction and pain, more people are now looking to seek, well, who am I? That's why more people are watching channels like yours, channels like others, because they've already reached the darkest points that they could go, and they see at that darkest point, well, they're starting to get that spark of light, of the truth of love, the other side, questioning those things. And the only outcome is true, unfiltered freedom and love for all humanity. All of the systems built by man will soon fall, because they're built on systems of control, dominion over, and not loving. And we're moving into a state where the only thing that exists is love at its purest state experienced here. So all of these systems will have no choice but to fall and be seen. That's what everybody is experiencing now. That's what everybody's seeing for that final thing. That's not only what I see in humanity's future, but that's what I know humanity's future, what is in store for them. So it's not just a belief, it's a knowing, because it's something that I was shown at 16, and it's something that I've been shown to present date. But it's the matter of when people can stop supporting the very things that enslave them, and they see it, and they choose to walk away like so many people are now, then all of it falls. And all of it returns back to what people are really, really wanting. Freedom. Each individual soul is waking up, and the frequency of them is increasing, so therefore it's giving them more access to the light spectrum. And things that are becoming visible now, or will become visible, is things that were always here to begin with. That's what I'm saying. So it's more of you could say the very heaven itself is being revealed to people now, here. That's what's unfolding. Not necessarily as if we're moving to that direction, because all these things are already here. The relatives that have passed. If you were to come out of your body, you would be able to see some of those people here, just outside of your visual perception to decode it. Some elemental beings that are considered fairy tales, where did they go? Just outside of your visual perception to decode it. That light spectrum, just in a slightly different frequency, but you could see it out of your body. So it's more of a great revealing is taking place. That's what's taking place, a great revealing of all things. And all those things, people realize that it was never truly lost or gone. But now it's just being revealed to people. So even the very 12 heavens that I've seen, 12 layers of this creation, they are all here. And what I was showing is that all of these eventually are revealed to people. All of it's revealed. This is why the certain information about that old world is coming forward to people, just being revealed for what was always there. So with doing the out-of-body states, it all started with sleep paralysis. And I had the only way I could describe it to people that have had sleep paralysis is when you have this state, you are constantly in fear of death. You're dying, you're suffocating, you can't breathe. So I was always in those states, fearing of death. And I would always cut it off. I would move my hands, my pinky, my toes, and I'll try to wake myself up from this state, not realizing that if I were to remain calm in that state, that I would leave my body. I would actually be able to view myself. And it all kickstarted. I would actually say kickstarted at 16. And I tell this story a lot. At 16 is when I was at a point in my life where I said, I'm done. I want to know answers, or I'm going to leave this place. So tell me now, or I'll figure it out anyways. And you could say that was the first time as well that I was able to see this place for what it really is, the true state of us, our home. And through that has catapulted me into realizing and driving towards accessing and remembering that which I was shown at 16. And then through the years from 18 and to the age I am now, through identifying the sleep paralysis state, realizing when I stay calm, come out, I see my physical body sleeping on the bed, completely fearless, and then I'm able to access information like my Uncle Bob that has passed away, dead relatives, information, the records of the history of this place, of us, our true home. And through all these years, I've accessed so much information that now I just try to condense this into the core message, which is love in our home. And I just bring it back to that because it's like, it could go in so many different directions when you're accessing these records or the halls of Amente, the records of that period of time. But the core, no matter how much it is that I access through this controlled state, it always comes back to love. Unconditional, unfiltered love.